Hey there, campers. While we're gathering around the campfire, we just want to let you know we are not what you would call experts. What we do have is a love for researching and discussing the lore of cryptids, creatures,
and an occasional spooky woman that can eat our soul.
So if you are in need of immediate help with the chupacabra in your yard, please consult someone else.
Also, this podcast isn't for kids. These campfire stories can contain graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young campers, so listener discretion is advised.
Everyone. We're doing a little different format today. We're in person.
Hello.
High five. Let's connect. Yeah. For all of our audio listeners, Ryan has decided to come to my neck of the woods and do Ren Fair, and our AC just turned on. So
honestly, it's a blessing. It was getting a little toasty in here. The ring lights really.
Do you want to just do our intro while I go fix that real quick? Just send it. Be me and then be you.
Hey campers, my name is Kimmy, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan. Hey guys, welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast where we tell you the history and stories of different legends and lore from all over the stinking world. And, oh wow, that's so great, Ryan. You're so cool. Oh hey, you're back. There you go.
Okay. Sounded just like me. Did you get to the what did you find Aloreing?
I have not.
Okay, well Ryan, what have you found? Oh, so Aloreing this week.
Well, we kind of already spoiled it because if they're seeing this on video, but we're doing an in-person recording, which I guess if you're not a video watcher, it just sounds like a normal episode, maybe slightly less delayed, but yeah, here we are. Southwest, shout out to my boy Southwest Airlines, did a $50 round trip deal, and I was like, I bought the ticket, and then I texted Kimmy and said, hey, I'm coming to your town, and then we figured it out from there.
Yeah, like, I love Ryan's slightly intoxicated. What are you doing this day text?
Yeah.
Followed by, there's really cheap airline.
Also, I already bought a ticket.
Yeah. I would have been like,
yeah.
Nah.
That's why I bought the ticket ahead of time, so that you couldn't say no.
He was like...
I bought the non-refundable one, too, so I was really banking on you saying yes, or I'd be staying in a hotel downtown somewhere right now,
just singing,
trying to figure out what to do in here.
Just singing all by yourself. Mm-hmm. What is it? You'd have a little penny and a napkin and a potato chip just sitting right next to you.
The gang's all here.
Oh, man. But yeah, so we are in person. I am my Aloreing thing. Thanks for asking, Ryan. My Aloreing thing is the reason we've been on hiatus is I have been hit with my Saturn return pretty hard, but in good ways. So I now have a home. I've done it, millennials.
It's possible.
It's possible. It may have been a fixer-upper and had a month where I cried a lot, but you know, we're here now.
It's a couple appliances missing, a couple cabinets missing, but you do own a house, which is more than a lot of people can say.
Bless the Lord. I still think the housing market is a complete scam too. So
100%.
I still haven't left that at all. But so if you guys hear little scratchy sounds, that is probably my rabbit. Or you will hear my fiance wandering through the house.
Planes, cars driving by, but that's okay. We're figuring it out.
Because we are here.
Yeah. The fact that this episode's happening at all is a bit of a miracle. It is currently 2:00. We attempted starting recording at about noon. It's just been one thing after the other, but we made it.
I may have to fix my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I may have panic called my brother multiple times in the last few hours.
It's almost like the computer's haunted.
Oh, stop it! All right, well let's cue those campfire sounds, and then we'll start us off.
It's funny that like you smudged your house or whatever you call it, and then immediately like your computer stopped working. Just throwing that out there. When the spirits become so tantalizing, filling my mind with horror and causing me to become so nervous, my parents often sent me to my neighbors to rest for a night. Bestie Belle. Who we talking about?
Well, this is our show note process too for all our video listeners.
We don't have our usual like 18 screens set up, so I'm a little.
Our audio listeners, you guys are just in for a ride today. So for all our ghost-loving listeners out there, may we advise this is one spirit you stay clear of. When roaming through the Red River of Robertson County, one may stumble upon the sleepy town of Adams, Tennessee. Though this area seems harmless, there is believed to be an evil spirit that is so powerful and has caused such an uproar, it has captured the attention of ghost hunters, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts all around the world. So this week we will be talking about the wicked spirit known as the Bell Witch. This supernatural creature was a major part of local Tennessee folk tales from 1817 to the 1820s. Though short-lived, this eerie legend grew to become one of America's greatest horror stories, and to this day is seen as an inspiration for films, shows, and haunted attractions throughout the U.S. of A.
It's definitely our shortest-lived show, or not show, but yeah, well, that too.
Ryan's leaving the podcast.
Yeah, our shortest-lived cryptid and/or spirit. Usually it's like, yeah, it's been haunting this town for 600 years. This one's like, yeah, those 3 years were wild.
No, she's like, I'm going to come, I'm going to leave an impression, I'm going to head out. Yeah. She's like toxic, like she's really got it down to a science.
Very demure.
Very demure.
Yeah, very, very mindful ghost.
See how she scares for only 3 years? Very demure.
Very cutesy.
Very mindful. So, what are the origins of the famous Bell Witch?
I don't know.
So, I should have had the drink. I made it too strong, and I'm realizing that now. Documented legends of the Bell Witch date back to 1817 Tennessee, specifically in the connection to the Bell family. So, legend says that the Bells were harassed by the Bell Witch from 1817 to 1821, experiencing the most active and eerie paranormal activity at the time. The family dealt with constant attacks and harassment for 3-ish years, including scratching, pinching, and hair pulling. It wasn't until 1820 I felt that look.
Nice,
there you go. I was like, yeah, you gotta get it out. It wasn't until 1820 when John Bell became incredibly ill and passed away that and the constant hauntings and abuse lessened, eventually stopping altogether. Much like a TikTok trend, the Bell Witch had disappeared just as quickly as she had appeared. So what's the deal? Who is the Bell Witch and where did the spirit come from? So there are 2 theories as to what the hell is going on. Some believe the spirit is a manifestation and other believes it's the vengeful spirit of Kate Batts.
Okay.
So
can I throw in a third theory?
Yeah.
The husband maybe was cheating a little bit and the scratches, hair pulling, and whatever the third one was him being like, no, babe, I promise it was the Bell ghost. It wasn't me.
If you've been gaslit by a partner into thinking their affair is a ghost, you may too be susceptible
to... Who among us hasn't, Like, I swear it was the Bell.
There's someone listening to this right now that's like, that's
wait
a
minute.
Great idea.
Write that down.
So the first, let's talk about it being a spirit's manifestation.
Okay.
So there is a rare case when a creature we are talking about actually says what it is. So like, Mothman isn't like, I'm Mothman.
Wow.
Look at me. He is.
He kind of does.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't say it.
Say
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
We just know.
So
It's the aura.
it's the energy.
Yeah.
It's very demure. I need to stop making TikTok jokes on here because it's just gonna age us so badly. So early accounts, the spirit itself provides its origins, stating the following. So, I am a spirit. I once was very happy, but I have been disturbed and made unhappy. I am the spirit of a person who was buried in the woods nearby the grave, was disturbed. My bones disinterred and scattered, and one of my teeth was lost under this house. I am here looking for this tooth.
It's fair. It seems like a pretty simple solution.
Yeah, it just sounds like they got beef with the tooth fairy.
Mm-hmm. What if they vacuumed the tooth up on accident and it's in a dump somewhere? That's an issue.
What, you know how a lot of moms like to keep baby teeth and scrapbook them? Maybe they just thought it was one of their kids' teeth and was like, just
let me
put it
keep
in the
this.
scrapbook. And the person's like, no, I need that 25 cents for rent.
I'll haunt you forever.
In another event, the witch said the following about its origins. I am a spirit of everywhere, heaven, hell, and the earth. I am in the air, the houses, and any place at any time. I have been created millions of years.
That's a little more ominous.
Yeah.
It's a lot more ominous. That sounds more like a demon.
Yeah. No, we go from...
Yeah. Give me my tooth back to I'm eternal and I'm going to murder all of you.
Yeah, it's quite a jump.
It's not mindful.
It's not mindful.
Maybe cutesy.
It's maybe a little more like kawaii. If we want to true cutesy.
Yeah.
Another theory is that the spirit is no other than Kate Batts.
Classic Kate.
So that's a great episode title. Mary Catherine Kate Batts was the wife of Frederick Batts and was constantly mocked by others throughout the Red River settlement in Robertson County due to her strange ways.
Ballot.
Many believe she practiced black magic and other forms of occult because of her improper usage of words and sometimes strange mannerisms.
I bet you she was reading.
I was gonna say she
read the dictionary one time and they're like, she's a witch.
She's like, oh, that book says the Bible. And they're like, oh, witch!
You can read that?
You can read that?
That's our thing.
Oh man, what a time to be alive. During the early 1800s, Benjamin Batts, Kate's brother-in-law, had a dispute with John Bell over the sale of a slave. As the rumor mill talked, what really happened became muddy, and people started saying that John Bell and Kate Batts were the ones arguing.
Arguing.
Yeah. Well, that's where those scratch marks come from, you know, and the hair pulling.
Babe, we were just fighting, I promise.
They were just I just hate him so much. I'm going to go talk to him again. He's like, wow, my wife really, really hates him.
Yeah.
They're talking about fixing things all the time, and she comes back beat up every time.
Yeah, every time. It's so aggressive. That John Bates.
God damn, John Bell.
John Bell.
That John Bell. Ringing her bells, you know. The ones arguing is she turned into the Bell Witch to get revenge on John Bell. It was her spirit that would harass John constantly. So now there is a collection of stories saying that her and John didn't get along. Which is different, because the first one is her husband and him that are arguing.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's the two of them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now there is a collection of stories saying that her and John didn't get along. Some legends claim they were unfriendly neighbors, and Kate believed John cheated her out of some land purchasing power. But her vengeful spirit coming to haunt her is very much a stretch, especially since Kate outlived John by many years. So, though it is unclear which is the true origins of the Bell Witch, it is clear that it has become one of the most famous and influential American ghost stories, with collections of books, films, and even plays based off the event. The Bell Witch hauntings are a spooky American folklore legend still talked about to this day amongst ghost hunters, skeptics, religious leaders, and people who are just curious. The legend even says that she vowed to come back in the future, so who knows?
Oh, shit.
This girl's got a planner, and she's got places to be and places to go.
I, for one, invite the Bell.
No, we're not!
Not me, but, like, here.
I'm so mad at you right now. I am so furious with you right now. I have been up to here with everything, and we just spent like 3 hours.
I had
trying
my
to figure out
fingers crossed.
computer.
It's okay. She's not invited. She knows it.
If anything happens in this house,
Me and the Bell Witch go way back. Kate, right?
I'm so. This is my 13th reason, then.
I mean, this house is pretty old.
It's
definitely
there is nothing
haunted.
in this house. If something shows up in this house, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
I'm just saying.
Man, well, here, it's your turn anyway.
All right, beautiful. All right, we got some short stories and sightings. All right, 1804, John Bell moved his wife, Lucy, and their children from North Carolina to Robertsons County, Tennessee, where he purchased 320 acres of farmland along the Red River, probably for like $2.
Oh, yeah.
The family lived a peaceful life for 13 years, but in the summer of 1817, the family would experience a series of paranormal activities that would change their lives forever. For this week's setting, we will be talking about a collection of these eerie hauntings. The first one, just nicely titled A Rough Start.
I did that. That was my creative writing skills from high school really kicking in, y'all.
So it all started when a family started seeing strange animals on the farm. The strange occurrences began at the Bell family farm when John Bell came across a dog-like creature. He fired his gun at the animal, but it vanished. This is only the start. Number 2, what's that sound?
I was getting really creative writing these.
So after this beast was shot, the family began to hear strange noises throughout the home. It started as a loud knocking on the doors and windows, and the sounds of rats gnawing at bedposts, or birds flapping against the ceiling. The eeriness of the sound intensified to chains dragging across the floor. That's a little more scary.
Yeah.
Heavy objects being thrown and disturbing choking sounds. As if someone was being strangled in the next room. One family member describes the sound as so. Beds were suddenly and roughly pulled apart, to which was added the sounds of fighting dogs chained together, making them noises deafening.
It's so terrible you brought up the cheating thing at so early on in the episode.
Oh no, the beds were knocking.
Because it completely...
The kid's like, wait, my mom's out of town, and the beds are rocking. Oh no, it's a ghost.
That's the problem. Is you said it so early in the episode. I can't separate the two.
That was my goal.
Goddamn.
Stuff was roughly being pulled apart, if you know what I mean. Alright. The worst is they definitely never found the source of these noises. Those poor kids. Furniture was never damaged. Animals were never found. And whatever was knocking, there was no one on the other side.
Oh, man.
And Kimmy, if that wasn't enough, the witch started speaking to the family.
Oh, there we go.
Some would say screaming from a room over. Having full conversations. Mostly throwing shade at John Bell. So they're just into some,
That's
rough conversation.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone asked who or what the witch was, it would respond, I'm a spirit, definitely not the mistress. I was once very happy, but I've been disturbed and made unhappy. Ooh. Though the spirit spoke to everyone, it seemed to be mostly chatty with Lucy and John Jr. Oh, a caring ghost. The spirit proclaimed to Lucy the most perfect woman living and would show compassion to her. See, she's a nice ghost.
She likes Lucy.
It's just not the dad.
Who doesn't love Lucy?
And would show compassion to her and even sing to her when she was ill. With John Jr., it was reported he'd have long, intense conversations with her, and although he showed his hatred for being a spirit of the damned. So, but that's on John. That's not on her. Unfortunately, we're moving to a chapter called Physical Violence. So once the spirit had announced itself after doing one hell of an opening number, the spirit's activities became physical. Yeah, they did. The witch started to physically abuse members of the family by pinching them, pulling their hair, and striking them with powerful blows. Though everyone experienced the spirit's harassment, Joel, John Bell Jr., Richard Williams, and the youngest daughter, Betsy, got the worst of it. It was reported Betsy was once beaten unconscious, oh goodness, simply because the witch did not like her.
Yeah.
And though the family received the worst of the spirit attack, she still continued her reign of terror on anyone who came near or interacted with the family. Now, everyone's favorite, non-problematic, definitely a chill guy president, Andrew Jackson, comes into the picture.
Not a single problem.
Not a problem.
Nothing.
At this point in time, the legend of the Bell Witch was spreading like wildfire, and it wasn't long until word got out to future president Andrew Jackson. Being a curious skeptic, Andrew decided he was going to see for himself if the rumors were true. After gathering some men, including a self-proclaimed witch hunter, they loaded up a wagon and made their way to the property. While on the way, one of the wagons became stuck in an unseen force and was unable to move. He spent hours examining the wheels, telling the horses to get, and even having his men attempt to push the cart. This is when Andrew realized there was something going on here, and he felt a cold chill right up his spine. "By the eternal boys, that's a witch," he said. That's when a cool wind blew past them, and the witch's voice echoed through the trees, saying, "All right, General, let the wagon move on. I'll see you again tonight. XOXO, Bell Witch." The wagon then started to move on its own accord. Now, this may scare others to turn around, but Andrew, he was more determined. Just like he was determined when he became president of these United States.
I was going to say, this story is a beautiful representation of who he was as a person.
Mm-hmm. So, he became determined to see the spirit for himself and made his men continue on. Later that evening, the men set up camp. While around the fire, one of the self-proclaimed witch hunters was bragging about how he used silver bullets, and his witch hunting experience had conquered many spirits. He was just shooting people. Yeah,
he was just committing murder, and he's like, "Oh, it was a witch.
I used the silver bullet, and it died.
Must have been a witch.
It was the bullet. It was the silver in the bullet. It wasn't the bullet itself." But being a bit of a skeptic, Andrew whispered to his colleagues, "I bet this fellow was a coward. By the eternals, I do wish this thing would come. I want to see him run." After this comment, the camp became eerily quiet, and the sound of light footsteps walked up to them, and the witch's voice echoed through the camp. "All right, General, I am on hand and ready for business." Yee-hoo! The spirit then struck the unsuspecting hunter. He cried out in pain, saying he felt as if he was being struck by needles. The spirit grabbed his nose and tossed him to the side. The hunter, terrified, ran off scared, never shooting his gun. The witch cried out, "How the devil did run and beg! I bet he won't come through here again with his old horse pistol to shoot me. I guess that's fun enough for tonight, General, and you can go to bed now. I'll come tomorrow night and show you another rascal in this crowd." What a lady.
I've never in my life wanted an enemies to lovers story so bad.
Please someone write an Andrew Jackson Bell Witch fanfic for us. Thank you.
Please. This is beautiful.
She came back that night and said, "I'm going to show you a rascal right now, Andrew." Pulling his manhood. I've been reading quite a bit lately. Books.
read?
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh,
but
okay.
like I've never read a book that had like, I mean, it's not a smut book at all, but it has some like stuff in it, and it's so uncomfortable. I don't know how book girlies do it. Good for you guys, because you guys are just freaking reading porn.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day on a Tuesday afternoon. It's crazy.
That isn't even anything like Court of Thorns is really nothing.
No,
like,
it's not that bad, but even I'm like...
It's advertised to be this like really intense, smutty book, and I was like, this was like what Twilight was to me at 13.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
The amount of times it said, I viewed as long manhood, I was like, this is too much.
I'll send you just like a chapter from Haunting Adeline, and you will be like, wow, this is the worst thing
I've heard that one's crazy.
That one's a crazy one.
So someone write a Haunting Adeline-esque version of this Andrew Jackson Bell Witch.
Please send it to me.
Romance.
I will give you 5 stars.
Yeah, I'll read it on the air.
Oh,
If you need a voice actor to put it on Audible, let me know.
Ryan's always wanted to be Andrew Jackson. This is really
so Andrew, hear this, ready? Everyone was terrified except Andrew Jackson because he was excited to go after the Bell Witch. But all his colleagues were terrified and had more than enough and returned to Nashville shortly after. All right.
That's where the fanfic starts.
Yep.
That's where you start it.
Abandoned by his men alone in the woods, up against a powerful witch haunting him every night. You're telling me that's not a setup for a great book?
It's so...
I'd read it.
Everything's there.
It's there.
We got horror, we got love, we got conflict.
Mm-hmm.
It writes itself.
Wonder. All right. So this is the end of the Bell Witch hunt.
Yeah.
Or haunt. The Bell Witch haunting didn't stop, and they continued until the curses, threats, and physical torments placed on John Bell's life finally caught up to him. Old Jack Bell, as the spirit called him, became incredibly ill and bedridden in 1820. John Jr. helped take care of his father during this time, feeding him medicine and staying by his bedside as needed. She sucked the soul out of him, and Andrew's.
Oh my God.
Then on the evening of December 19th, 1820, day we'll never forget, John Bell failed to leave his bed due to his weak state. So John Jr. went to the cupboard to retrieve medicine for his father. Instead of 3 medicine vials that lined the shelves, there was only 1, and the third was full of dark, smoky liquid of unknown origin. Assuming this was the medication to use, John Jr., come on. He's like, I've never seen this swirly jar of magic, but the doctor ordered it.
He's like, that one looks like syrup, that one looks like peppermint, and that one looks like swirly death. That's the one for Pops.
Yeah. John Jr. was not the smartest man.
Didn't need to be.
Yeah, so John went ahead and gave this to John Bell Sr. The next day, the family noticed the strange vial that John Bell that wasn't with them anymore. That's when the eerie voice of the witch cried out, "It's useless for you to retrieve old Jack. I've got him this time. He will never get it from that bed again." That's right where she wants him, you know what I mean? She then claimed the mysterious vial. He gave old Jack a big dose of it last night while he was fast asleep, which fixed him. Full of rage and being tricked by the wicked spirit, the vial was thrown into the fire and erupted into a blaze. John Bell died December 20th, 1820, having Tennessee be the only state to recognize a person's death as supernatural. Very interesting. Now, that wasn't the end of the Bell Witch. Making one last hurrah, it crashed the funeral of John by singing cheerful drinking songs during the ceremony. It continued to linger around the Bell Witch. It continued to linger around the Bell Witch crashed the funeral and the service. And yeah, that's beautiful. We love a petty ghost.
I was gonna say,
because this doesn't seem like she had a good reason for anything. She just fucking hated John Bell.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know John Bell. There was some slave trading earlier, so valid.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say there's a lot of, because when I was reading about the Bell family, I was trying to find out more about who they
Yeah.
were and what their history was, and we'll talk more about like Betsy Belle.
Yeah.
But it was really hard because it's like they were just your average
Your
family that
Tennessee
got lucky
family.
with some land.
Uh-huh.
Like they were like considered like a little bit like more wealthy than other people, and they got more land because of like the land they got at the time they did.
Yeah.
But like they were considered the trouble family because of all this ghost stuff they were dealing with. But that was it. There was like
shout out to the Bell Witch.
Shout
if anything. Honestly, she's a baddie. And she knows what she's about. And we respect that.
I love how
I'm on her side.
I love when I see you just so quickly turn from chaotic evil.
As soon as we started talking fanfic, I was in.
Just need the Bell Witch fanfic.
Bell there's probably is out there.
You know, we're gonna do this.
We didn't research.
We're gonna go hear a word from our sponsors real quick, and then you guys are gonna take this moment.
Yeah.
For you that don't listen, I get it. I understand. It helps our podcast, so we'd love if you do.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Go write a quick Bell Witch fanfic, and send it our way.
Yep.
And
also, let us know when you Google Bell Witch how many pages you have to go through before it gets wild. Because I imagine it's probably not that many pages.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's your guys' quest. We'll see you in a little. All right, welcome back, campers. I haven't read any of your submissions for Andrew Jackson.
They came in quick. It was actually crazy.
Immediate.
And this is live. Like,
yeah.
So I think someone's listening.
They're in the walls, man. They are in the walls. Welcome back. We are quite proud of you all for that. If you didn't and you still want to write and submit it, do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams, We do hope you enjoyed that little bit of a break. We are now going to talk about the appearance and the history of the Bell Witch. So appearance-wise, all we know is that it's a spirit, and it would manifest itself as a large dog or wolf.
Oh.
So Ryan's Aloreing alignment chart is slowly changing.
Yeah, that just kind of ruined it.
It had black fur and seemed to give off a smoky glow around it. It could be seen with either two heads or none at all. So
that part could be worse.
That
Not the no head part. That part's a little. But two.
There's just possibility at that point.
There's some possibilities there that aren't otherwise possible.
Oh man, I put too much whiskey in that for us. It would also take on a different form, such as a rabbit, bear, or even a mule. And it would imitate a collection of eerie animal noises.
There's a rabbit right there.
Yeah, we have Miss Looms running around.
Or is it the Bell Witch?
She's very sassy if she was the Bell Witch.
She might be.
Luma may be the Bell Witch.
She's kind of watching us right now, which is a little questionable. As soon as we started talking about it.
Each time I say Bell Witch, she looks over.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
Well,
let's try and ignore that.
Yeah,
I'll lock my door tonight.
Yeah, I was like, who needs to sleep, right?
Yeah.
The spirit has also never been seen in any other form. So some say maybe it appears as a woman, but that's simply due to the possible connection with Kate bats, and there's no actual report on the sighting. And also, we do typically in Western culture associate witch with women. So you hear
that's true.
Spooky witch, you think it's like some hot, mysterious woman. So it's more just like
call me out.
Yeah. We all have our faults, right? It's
buddy.
And going to behaviors and abilities, honestly, this witch was here to cause chaos. It was malicious, violent, and anyone who dared challenge it would face its wrath.
It's my type.
Ryan's type, exactly. Being a wildly powerful entity, it had a few tricks up their sleeve, so we got a handy dandy list of all of them. Ren and I normally popcorn, but I'll read like the first three if you want to read the next three. So the first one is shape-shifting. So the witch hated the family slaves so much, so it always tormented them relentlessly, beating them and refusing to allow them in the house. And this is where
the
Bell Witch
alignment's really really slipping rapidly from the Andrew Jackson fanfic.
Yeah, the more you know, the more you don't like, you know.
You're telling me an American ghost story from Tennessee in the 1800s may have been slightly racist? I'm shocked.
I'm surprised. I'm baffled.
Yeah.
So, one of the Bell slaves named Dean stated that he encountered the witch several times and apparently frequented him in dog form. Dean also claimed to turned into a mule and attacked several times, and he was attacked several times by the witch.
Goodness.
He carried